Hi, my name's Sue Ellam and I'm a professional tarot reader and have been for 25 years. And I'm using the Mythic Tarot, which are based on Greek mythology.
And I'm Carrie Beleno, intuitive Reiki master teacher, spiritual life coach, and the Aries change agent here in this partnership. So we are, and Sue is she's so accommodating to my, and it's always something that I feel. I tend not to try to think around things too much anymore. I just kind of feel it. And I feel change coming, and then I try to discern what it is. So we're going to be shifting it a little bit in the upcoming days. However, today I just want to talk about a couple of things. We'll do separate videos about some topics that are coming up with my clients right now, and I just want to throw out a teaching moment, and then I'm going to ask Sue to pull some cards and see if the validation exists or we go in a completely different direction, because that's okay too. But one of the things that I see coming up every single client almost is past lives. And I'm not a past life regressionist. I'm not a specialist on past lives. I don't do hypnosis or anything like that. But the energy, there's so much unfolding energetically around past lives for me that they do want to bring it up, and I know I'm not the only one talking about it right now as well. And so as I see it, and it's so hard because it involves time. You know, time isn't linear. We're on this spiral right now, and we've always been on a spiral. So the lives aren't really past. They're all kind of congruent, and it's so hard for our human minds to wrap ourselves around that. But a lot of the lives are happening simultaneously, and it involves dimensions. It just involves so much that our brains can hurt. And I'm sure there are channelers out there that address this specifically much better than I can. But the part that I want to talk about is integration. The part that I want to talk about is accepting and integrating these parts of us that might feel like outliers, that might feel like a distant memory, because we have learned, and I fully believe in past lives. I cannot believe that this go around in this lifetime is the only one we've got. I just can't accept that. And I have too many, I've done the hypnosis, I have too many memories that I have to lead me in a different direction. So what I see happening is that people have small glimpses of past lives through likes and dislikes, through fears, through memories that they can't put their finger on, through and so I want to encourage everybody to go with it, to just, well, I've always had a penchant for the Civil War. I've always had a penchant for another country or another lifestyle, or I feel called to protest in Black Lives Matter, but I have no connection to it whatsoever. So I have no idea why I feel called to do this. I believe that these are all memories of past lives that need to be integrated. So my teachable moment in this is to embrace whatever you are feeling, embrace whatever you are thinking. So if you feel really passionate about Black Lives Matter, just be okay with that. Follow your intuition on how you want to be involved, or what books you want to buy, or who you want to connect with, because there may be a deep-seated reason for your passion around it. And you know, or perhaps you're drawn to Native American life, or like then research a little bit, read up on it, grab what feels resonant with you in those memories. This is it's part of the pandemic. When we were forced to shut down and forced to go within, part of it was to determine what we love and what we're connected to. And don't let being released back into public make you forget the importance of doing those things and the importance of uncovering those things. So I want to encourage you to integrate those things you're drawn to, or the fears around certain things, and own it as part of you, because I think it's going to help propel us forward when we rebuild and where our place is. And remember, Sue and I are laying the foundation for the rebuild. We are laying the foundation for helping us move into this unity consciousness. So I think this is an important part, and we'll probably talk about it more later, but Sue, I want to turn it over to you now.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned that. And I said I didn't know what Carrie was going to say before she said it. I actually use past lives within my readings, because when somebody comes, they have a specific trauma, or they have a difficult relationship, then I tap into past lives. And I
do as well.
I can identify this. It's shown to me, I see stuff as well. And so, and by saying, well, that happened this lifetime, and you were in this situation, it could be with that other person, and then it helps heal the trauma in this lifetime because it will resonate. They say, oh, now I understand. So
I'm not going to beat myself up for trying so hard in this lifetime, because now I understand why I was trying so hard. Yeah. Like it helps. And I see the exact same thing and tap into the same thing.
Absolutely.
So thank you for bringing that up.
But when I was a child, I used to have visions. It wasn't a physical thing. It was visions of a doll's house. And I had about 4 or 5 different stories. And on each story, it was a different era. You'd have somebody with kind of all Victorian dresses, and then you'd have another layer of another era in history. But all of them were going on at the same time.
Yeah.
But that was me. As a child, I just saw all that kind of going on. Everybody was living their lives at the same time. As a child, I saw it. Wow. But as you kind of get older and you get tied into this timeline, it kind of starts to fade. Okay, let's look at, please just tell me anything you can about past lives. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. Past lives can bring you a wealth of knowledge. Because what you said about this time just being the only time you're alive doesn't make sense. Our past lives, we are a product of our past lives, of the ones we've lived where we've done good, and the ones we've lived when we haven't. They're all part of the fabric of who we are on a soul level. And for me, this earth plane is a school. That's how I see it. Is a school. And when we come down to learn different lessons. One could be dealing with poverty one lifetime. Another lifetime can be how to handle wealth, because each of those states has got its own problems. And so we have different things. So past lives are very important. They are an anchor in a way. So we're not kind of floating off, because if you have a past life to kind of say, oh, well, I learned that then, So, what else do I need to know now? But it will give you more than you would have if you don't know anything about your past lives. Again, I don't do past life regression, but I do get access to past lives with the work that I do with the cards and things, because it's all about healing the person themselves. Well, it's not me healing them, it's allowing them, giving them the information so they can heal themselves. So this is a wealth of knowledge, past lives. We have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is, it's kind of, what's under this stone, what's under that stone, but the thing is with past lives, people love to think that they were maybe Joan of Arc or kind of Queen Victoria and things like that. And there's, I mean, it's all very nice to think you used to be Elvis or something like that, but
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that. That's so weird. It's like you read my mind.
But the reality is, you could have been a scullery maid in some kind of thing, but still have had a really good life. So it's interesting to look under the rocks and look and get all the details, because when you look at the past lives and really look into it, then you start to think in new ways. It's a new independent way of thinking. And as I said, you don't have to tell everybody about them or what you're doing, because some people will poo-poo it and kind of ruin your faith in it. But it does give really good information that you can then formulate questions that you might not have had before. The Four of Cups here, it will also help when this is a situation where you feel as though you've done everything you can and it hasn't worked out the way you expected it to. So these are the kind of situations that past lives can really help with. They can help if the situation is to do with another person. They can help find out if you've had a long history with this person. Sometimes there's things that kind of come up where fathers and children or mothers and children have inappropriate feelings, and then you find out in the past life they were married or they were boyfriend and girlfriend, but that is no longer appropriate. Nothing could have might not have happened, but there's inappropriate feelings because this is a different relationship. So it's a different aspect that they have to explore. And then you have this real draw to somebody and find out you were married to them 5 times. And each time they left you. So this time is your time to learn to be independent rather than kind of dependent on someone else. So this is really when you get to a situation that, it hasn't worked out. Do I cut my losses or do I just put up with things? This is, again, a situation where past lives can be really, really useful because it helps you to understand a bit deeper into this particular situation you're in. If you're being bullied, for instance, where was it just this lifetime that you set yourself up for this, or does it come from previous lifetimes when you were always kind of or had a number of lifetimes when you've been kind of the bottom rung of the ladder? And I remember a story, it just popped into my head, where there was a woman and she couldn't understand it, but every time she took a mouthful of alcohol, she was violently sick and she couldn't understand it. She went to the doctor and etc. and eventually looked at past lives and found that her last, I think, 5 lives, she'd been an alcoholic. And she got nothing done. She lived her life inebriated. And
I think I've heard that story.
Okay, yeah. And so this time, her body was made, so it was allergic to alcohol. So she actually had to get and do something. so so then she understood why she had that reaction. Really, they're really important. And the Knight of Cups, it's about being in love with life, loving what you're doing. So what it does is it frees you up. It takes away the chains, it takes away the boundaries. And I think it was another video that I said about I had a fear of spiders, which was completely illogical, had no reason for it. So what happens? I got sent off to Australia, and I had to deal with the huntsman spiders, which for me were mice on legs. And it was just, I was in fear of going to sleep in case they crawled over me. It was just, but I then I was in a place where somebody could help me through that, and found that it was a past life. And as soon as I dealt with that past life, the fear left me. I mean, I won't handle spiders because I don't like the feel of them, but I don't have this terror.
Irrational, yeah.
Yeah, because it was a past life that was so impactful on me. That's why I had that fear. And so that has set me free. So now any house spiders in England, crikey, they're small fry. So it doesn't bother me anymore. So that is the power of dealing with past lives from my own personal experience. And it just allows you just to love life and be open and free. So I do think that they are very, very interesting, but also very healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting one as well that I have on my podcast. I'll try to link it to this video because in the comments, because it changed my life when I discovered it. So
I was prepared to give up work because I knew work was where the spiders were.
Yeah.
And I thought, come on, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Get a grip. So, but yeah, so people's fears and they can really stop them doing things. So anyway, that's all about past lives from me.
And if you would like some support in integrating these ideas or memories or fears that you have, Sue and I are open and welcome you as clients. So we do virtual work as well. So give us a shout out.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Don't suffer.
And we both got a couple of decades under our belt, so we have been doing it a while. So anyway, it's bye from me.
And please like, share, and subscribe, and watch for our upcoming video changes.